Hello, welcome to Engelgeist. My name is Daniel. Thank you for visiting my channel. That's my healthy drinking bulldog in the background. This is the August predictive for August 2019 for the sign of Gemini. This is my first round of Taroscopes that I'm doing, so please like, share, follow, subscribe. Let me know in the comments section whether or not you've enjoyed what you've heard or it made any sense. If it didn't make any sense, please just, it is a general reading for all Geminis that may tune in and watch it. The intention is to bring like sort of insight and validation to the month, a little bit of prediction for the month of August. And so, there's plenty of readers out there. If you don't get anything from my reading, please seek out a different reader on YouTube. There's a lot of great people. What was the other thing I was going to say? So this is for the monthly predictive for August 2019 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And if love comes up in the spread, then possibly those with their Venus in Gemini, which I've had my penis in a few Geminis, but never my Venus. Sorry. I'm in a goofy mood, guys. Okay, so let me shuffle the cards and connect to the energy. Ask Spirit to please give me the cards that sort of best represent for Sun, Moon, and Rising for Gemini, August 2019. Yes, let's grab the most plasticky, gross toy we have that makes the most noise, and let's chew on it while Daddy's on doing a video. Okay, thank you for taking it to the bedroom, Gus. Thank you, bye-bye. Okay, let me see what Geminis have in store for them. Okay, Gemini. I feel like your energy's a little bit all over the place. Doesn't feel as heavy as Taurus. I just did the Taurus reading earlier, but it feels a little bit scattered for the month of August. Like I don't feel like I have control. I feel a little worry and nervousness as I'm shuffling, if that makes any sense. Things are going very quickly, moving quite quickly. Okay, so the first card always represents sort of like the center of the month, like where we're centered at throughout the month. Can you not do your nails on the door right now, ma'am? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so this first card kind of represents sort of like the general overall, like where we're centered at throughout the month or where we're coming from for the month of August 2019. So this is the Woman of Worlds, Preserver. Interesting. Worlds has to do with finances, material gain, the material world, home, job, career, that sort of thing. When I look at this feels like a very emotional card, even though it's more of a material card to me. It feels, obviously we're looking at this sort of forlorn woman here. I feel like there's a lot of worry in this card. She's drawing my attention. I do feel like we have a lot of room to sort of be creative this month and work hard this month, but it feels like the heaviness of our thoughts or the heaviness of our emotions are going to get like kind of be a focus or a pull for us. There is going to be, this being the Preserver card says to me, we are going to be on the lookout for sort of like during the month of August, in a more protective mode, in a more, how do I want to say it? Like, it feels like we're going to be more about sort of keeping ourselves insular and protected versus out in the world, like social. We're going to be maybe a little bit more withdrawn, a little bit more internal, a little bit more focused on what's going on inside and how we feel inside. And not that we won't be a part of the world, like we will be productive. I do see this woman working here, this ballerina's dancing, so there will be creative moments and we'll be able to work, but this will be like a month where we're sort of taking care of ourselves, nourishing ourselves, sort of healing ourselves. I don't know what kind of a July that these you Geminis have had, but I have a feeling like this is a tail end thing from this July. You've had a bit of a rough July. And it feels to me like this is about the month where we kind of recover from that, if that makes any sense. If any of you Geminis did have a rough July, please comment in the comment section and let me know whether or not that's correct, because that's what I'm sort of feeling is those of you that are going to tune in and watch this video, you've come through some experiences that are going to require you this month to be sort of centered around your own preservation and your own care of yourself. Okay, so the next card is sort of the foundation or the goal of the month. Like this kind of is like sort of the what we're trying to achieve, the overall like goal for the month. So this is commencement, which is the Four of Worlds. Okay, another Worlds card, Gemini. What's going on in the money department? It feels like to me like maybe we want to start a new job, we want to go somewhere different, we want to be somewhere different. We're not really liking where we are right now, we're not really feeling it. Maybe we've been hurt, we've been wronged, we've been in a situation far too long, and it's time to sort of move on. And the idea of moving on is very exciting to the Geminis for the month of August. The ideas of taking the reins and moving forward, almost having to be a little bit like an Aries or being stubborn in like this ram here and moving forward without anybody else's opinions involved. Because it feels like to me the opinions of others maybe in the month of July actually bothered us. So in the month of August, we're kind of healing from that and we're moving forward. We're being more aggressive in nature. I mean, it's funny, I said those of us who have had a Venus in Gemini, and I said something about a penis in Gemini. This always looks like a penis and testicles to me, and these are both Jupiter. So to me, it feels like there's an opportunity for being more masculine in or assertive in our nature, hence this sort of phallic kind of symbol, and moving forward, like beginning to move forward in our career, home space, changing our home, moving, moving careers or starting our own new business, maybe even starting the commencement of a new relationship. This could represent that, or new friendships. But whatever it is, it's like the dawning of a new day for us in the month of August. After we have sort of secured up that sort of healing space, this is going to bring about that healing space. Or once we feel sort of healed enough or ready to move forward, the goal is to move forward up and out of what it is we have been dealing with in the near past. Now, this next card represents what our soul or our spirit is involved in, what it's looking at or what it's trying to deal with. And this is the Tower card. Ooh, baby. Tower moment in the spirit space, calling Tower moment in the spirit space. Can we get a cleanup on aisle 2, please? Okay, so Tower's always like, the Tower is never bad. I don't think of the Tower as a bad card. The Tower is sort of like an earth-shattering experience that kind of is inevitable. It feels to me like it actually ties into this commencement card very well. It feels like something is going to have to fall apart for you guys the month of August that is going to require you to like undeniably move forward. But that I want you to understand that whatever it is that's falling apart, whatever it is that's falling away, that was like something that felt stable or that you thought would always be there, the falling away of it, this being the sort of the spirit space card, says to me that it's sort of spirit driven. You have to trust it. And when I look at this person down here, they're sort of free falling. They're like just falling and going with it. They're just like being carried, and you're going to have to be carried. It's going to carry you to something new. This is the foundation or the goal of this month of August for the Geminis is to like move to a new commencement, a new world, a new idea, a new job, a new home, whatever it is that you thought was the thing that, I mean, this Tower card says to me that actually, Gemini, you guys are air signs, you're mindful thinkers, you guys know how to think quickly. You probably knew that this situation was bad a few months ago, and you haven't necessarily walked away from it. Maybe you've just recently walked away from it in the end of July, and now it's really time. It's really falling apart. But it's falling apart because your spirit needs it to, so that you can move on to bigger and better things, okay? So I don't want you guys to be afraid of that Tower card. I think that Tower card is actually going to create the space that you need so that you can move on eventually later in the month of August. and you want to move on. Now, the next two cards are usually like outside influences or things that we need to be aware of during this month that could be influencing us in both positive or negative ways. Sometimes they can be people, sometimes they can be, events or whatever. This is the Sage of Worlds. Again, a Worlds card, guys. Gemini, you guys are focused on getting your shit together financially, getting your stuff together in the home space, getting your material world together, relationships, that sort of thing. I feel like there's this idea, and this is when I go back to that shuffle where I felt like there was a nervousness. I look at this clock up here at the top, and it feels like you're running out of time, or you guys have been running on a different timeline where you're trying to hurry. Sorry, excuse my dog's like sipping water and then horking it back up. You guys have been running on a different timeline, and it's funny, I see this same working woman, here she is here, and here she is here. It's all about kind of trying to stabilize this material world for yourself. You can do it. This energy here is the Sage of Worlds. This would be like the King of Worlds in most decks, or the King of Pentacles in most decks. To me, this says that money will be coming in. You have the capacity or the energy, this energy around you. This is the Master card, and we're not talking about credit cards. But this is the Master card, meaning there's mastery to be had here. There's the opportunity from the outside influences to teach you how to master these things that maybe have been bothering you, or these things that maybe have been not always working in your favor. This card says to me that there is this energy around you. Like, I look at these old men here, there's different men, and this looks like God to me, kind of looking down upon you. And it says to me that, like, you are guided, and if you just follow things and try not to be too in your head about stuff, you might actually find that you will master some of the things that have been like financially bothering you or troubling you. And this commencement card will begin. You'll know what to do and when to do it. This other outside influence card is the Nine of Worlds. So this is totally, you guys, it's a money month for, here's the thing, I feel like this is all, the month of August is going to be for Geminis, Sun, Moon, and Rising, all about building something now, starting something now in the month of August that is going to pay off later. This Sage of Worlds, the Four of Worlds, which is commencement, which is the overall outcome. It won't start probably until the end of August, but this Nine of Worlds says to me that it's whatever you're starting by the end of August, it's sort of like planting the seeds to harvest something very beautiful later. This is like the Nine of Pentacles. So you will be harvesting something, say, you may not know it now, but in like a 6 months to a year's time, you might have a nice little chunk of change on your hand, a new job that you love, a new boyfriend that you love, a new home that you love, whatever it is that you're about to change or that you know needs to change from this tower moment, okay? Like from this thing that you think is causing you stress and that you're worried about, let it be, let it carry you, let the let your spirit guides, let God be your guide. Don't worry about time. Don't worry, stress about like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. You don't want to create in a vortex of stress. You don't want to create in a vacuum of worry. There's a peace here in this woman. There's a peace in this woman here too. Preserve yourself, keep yourself safe this month, and grounded as best you can, because it might be a little tumultuous, but towards the end of the month, it's going to get better, and you're not going to fully see the betterment until, a few months later when the harvest comes in. But what you're doing now is going to pay off later, Gemini. Do you understand? I hope that makes sense. Now, this last card is what I call, the potential outcomes for the month. And what I mean by potential outcomes is this sort of says sort of where things are going to naturally head by the month's end if everything stays the way that it is. But if this is a super negative card, we can also utilize this card as a warning to kind of make the choices and changes to avoid this card coming to pass, right? So this is sort of the culmination of the month of August, and what we experience in August is this card. It's naturally just the overall where the energy is heading. But again, it's not set in stone. This is the Six of Wands, and this is the Trust card. And I love this card because it says to me, it's you've got all of these worlds going on, all of the worlds cards, and then the Tower. So it feels like you're on shaky ground. Finances, home, all of these things are big issues, big things that can seem really scary. And when we have a Tower issue happening in the middle of it all, coming from a soul space, it can be pretty shaky, right? It can feel a little bit, we're going to want to withdraw and preserve ourselves during the month of August, and that's okay. This Six of Wands, Wands is more of the spiritual side of things. It's a fiery energy, but it is the Trust card. It's telling us that we can trust our spirit, that we can rely on those guides and God or whatever our higher power is, our universe, that it will carry us, that our friends, our family, the things that we love, our pets, whatever it is that we find our solace in, we can rely on those things to sort of get us through this month. And if we learn to lean into it and trust it, we're going to harvest these seeds. We're going to become the energy here for this Master card. And this Harvest card says to me, you're going to learn a lot this month about who you are and what you're capable of creating. And when you kick off this commencement, you're going to start to harvest something that I don't even know that you'll understand how wonderful it will be. Give it some time and trust in yourself and in your abilities. By the end of this month, you will have that trust, that deeper sense of self, that deeper sense of knowing, that deeper sense and awareness. You won't feel as shaky as you might feel at the beginning of the month. Please, if any of this resonates, comment down below and let me know. Let me know if your July was rough, any of you Geminis out there. I'm interested to know just how accurate this is coming out, because this is the format that I'm doing it in, and I don't know. I would really love to hear feedback to know if it is indeed making sense to those that have Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Make sure also to check in the description section. I always am now including a little theme song for each sign for the month to play as a source of inspiration. And please like, share, subscribe, tap the bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And thank you again for visiting my channel. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Have a good day. Bye.